everybody, it's McGann with another Maya 2012 tutorial. It was requested that I do a video for hotkeys. That's sort of a simple and complex thing to do because hotkeys are one of those things that they're not always so basic, so it might not be something that you'll ever have a use for unless you're really into Maya and you really know what you're doing. What I am going to do is I'm going to have my cheat sheet up in the corner here. This is from another blog called m5design.com. I'll link you up to where you can get this exact cheat sheet, but this is what I use a lot of times. It's good to print out and I have it pasted on my wall. What's really important to remember for Maya is that you really do need a 3-button mouse. And like my mouse has 2 buttons and a roller ball. I'm getting so tongue-tied already. And that really hasn't cut it for me because the roller bar is really just a scroll up and down. You really need a 3-button mouse or you run into some difficulties with several different things. What I think is really one of the most important quick keys to know is the Control or Command if you're using a Mac. You hold that down and you can just click down with the left side of your mouse, and then you can scroll around and pan around if you're in perspective mode and just see everything. I think that this is the most important hotkey to know because that's how you're going to be editing your stuff. So let's say that I want to move this sphere like directly under this pot right here. So I click my move tool and I'm just going to grab it and move it. Okay, now that looks like it's directly under it from this view, but when I turn up, oh, no, it's not quite. So then I move it this way, and now, well, hey, let's check the side view. Oh, now it's not under anymore, it's gone up above the grid, which is where I don't want it. So without the perspective mode and being able to push down Command and rotate around the scene here, you're really going to screw up a lot of placement for everything. And if I didn't mention, this was just my first run at Maya, seeing what different things did. So it's a complete mess. It's not supposed to be anything. Don't think too much of it. I'm not going to show you a lot of these shortcuts because a lot of them are really kind of self-explanatory or really complicated. Let me see here. What are some good ones? Okay, here's a good one. If you are, let's say, alright. If we look right here, anytime we use the move or even the scale tool, we get this little box here, and it has some arrows going out which indicate the directions that you can pull it in, or you can grab the center and just move it freely. Let's say that we're trying to work on something and maybe there's 50 spheres really close together and we're having trouble grabbing the box. What we can do is hit the equal or plus button and make that larger. Or if we're having a similar problem where maybe every time we try to click that or click one of the arrows, it's selecting a teapot and it's creating a problem, we can hit the minus button and make that really, really, really small. Another really good trick to know for hotkeys, let's say I just zoomed into here. Let's say I want to see everything. I hit A and that'll take me back to a pretty basic pan view of the whole scene. If I want to select this little box side over here, whatever the heck that's supposed to be, and let's say I want to manipulate it and maybe it's getting too far off screen and I can't really rotate up to get where I need to be to see it or something like that, I can hit F and it'll zoom me right into that selected object. Now if you have teapots like this selected and you hit F, say if I just want to work on this one right here, that's not going to be as effective. Even though I can zoom in, and of course you can use the middle button, and if you have properly set up, or if you have a scroll button, you can use that to zoom in and out. But if I want to work way over here, I'm still going to be really awkward, and I might be able to move to where I can get to it a little better, but it's still going to be really awkward if it's cluttered and you have a very large object or something like that. Something else that's helpful sometimes, let's say I want to do something to edit or change or manipulate that, I can hit Control A and I get the attribute editor, which will let me change the minimum and maximum ranges. Again, I'm not going into everything that everything does because that would take so much time, but these are just some real basic hotkeys. And another really basic thing is if you hit spacebar and hold it down, you get this huge menu, which is most of what you would find up here. If you just tap spacebar really quickly, usually tap spacebar really quickly, there it goes. You can find the option to see things in the top view, the side view, and the front on view. And you can click on any one of them and hit spacebar again quickly, and then you'll be in that view. Like this is the front view, this is the top view, this is the right view, and then back here to perspective mode. And perspective is the only one where you can pan around like this. Another thing that may or may not be helpful depending on your project, right here there is a list of menus. Click show. You can click down here grid and get rid of the grid if it's bothering you or if it's in the way or something else like that. Maybe you're trying to record. Try here. I'm going to open up a different file here just to kind of give you a better idea of what you'll be seeing. Let's just try here. Alright, so we've got half of a scorpion here. If we hit 0, that's default of what it automatically looks like. 1 is smoothness 1. That's pretty much 1 and 0 often look very, very similar. They're very rough and jagged usually, but yeah, here in this case it is identical. 2 will smooth it out somewhat. And you can see here, this is the wireframe here is where it was, and then after hitting 2, that's where it's gone. And if you hit 3, it will smooth it out even more and smooth out the wireframe so that it's usually a little nicer to work with in that mode. And then back to 1, you can see it's very, very, very jagged. Also, if you go to 4, everything is in wireframe mode. You can see through it. It's just going to be the blue lines typically. 5 will fill in a default shading of a gray unless you have your settings changed to a different color. And then 6 will not do anything right now because I have not applied a hypershade to the Scorpion model. If I had applied coloring to it, pressing 6 would have made that color display for my view right now. And then again, 7, nothing is really set up, but 7 will show lighting that you've worked on. And right now I guess this is the default lighting, which is all pretty much a big black and white nasty mess. But we'll get more into shading and that kind of thing on another day. And that's pretty much all of the hotkeys that are really basic that you need to kind of start out with. Of course, you can also do things like go to the polygons menu and you can just click and make things like that. I still recommend to try your best to go up to the top and of course find things that way, like for the polygons, create polygon primitive sphere. And I'm sorry, create polygon primitive sphere, but click the option box and then you can set how you want the radius, how many height and length divisions that you want and that sort of thing, and that can make it a lot easier when you're trying to manipulate a more complex object. Also with animation, you pretty much just highlight what you want. I've done this in other videos. But you have to highlight everything that you've got on the screen and then click the S key and that will set a keyframe. If you don't have anything selected, nothing will show up, but if I select this, now I have a red mark showing that that has been set as a keyframe here. That also has individually been set. And then if I moved a piece around and say I went to the 6, let's do that real quick. Let's say just for haha funny. Okay, let's say I just move that around and then I move that ball to here, highlight them both and click S. Then you can see Maya will actually fill in the gaps for you if you jump from one frame to the next. So you can see here it's going to very slowly do its best to compute how that would have gone. And of course over here on the side you can play, stop, rewind, all that sort of stuff. There's really nothing here to show. You can also window, play blast, select the option box, and that will basically record what your screen sees when it plays here and get you a really quick demo video if you need to show a professor or show a friend, or show some kind of progress without it being really formal. Or you can right click down here and click Play Blast with the option box. And that's pretty much all I can think of for hotkeys that are relevant for anybody just starting out. I hope that's been helpful. Any questions, let me know, and like I said, I'll be posting the cheat sheet and the link to get to it for the other blog, m5design.com, so that everybody can get the cheat sheet, and when you're in more advanced stuff, you can have it for reference like I do. So thank you for watching. This has been Megan. See you in the next video. Bye.